I always knew instinctively that I was unwanted. It's one of those things, you kind of feel like you're under God's thumb, like he's squishing you like a bug, and you really don't have words for it, but it's the sinking feeling that just kind of follows you, kind of tags you. So I was one of those rebellious, kind of angry people, but I left it all within. So I kind of left a streak of destruction wherever I went. You know, I'm not really one of those people that believe either that everything happens for a reason, because then my life really doesn't make sense. Because there's no reason why my father should start molesting me at 3. And there's no reason why my drunk mom would leave me with him. And there's no reason why I would just question why I was even born. So I started looking into the eyes of children when I was about 18 and thinking, why are any of us here? What's our call? What's our purpose? And I went to college bent on being somebody that leaves my mark on this world. And I was determined that I would try to help every unwanted child that I came across. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I did know that I had gumption inside of me, that despite everything that happened to me, the best thing my parents did for me was kick me out when I was 15. You see, I escaped. Didn't pan out so great for my siblings. A lot of them are seeking my therapy because I became that therapist. So I moved down here about 5 years ago after I lost it all, because I indeed did get married, and that landed pretty powerfully in the cesspool with everything else. So I lost my family, my house, my business, and my marriage in 1 year. I called it quits. So I came down to the good old South, it's the Bible Belt, and I figured, well, if it didn't work when I worked in the White House, you know, because when you are abused, you get pretty promiscuous. So if that didn't work when I was working for lobbyists and they were paying me all kinds of money as they're passing around their briefcases with $1 million, smoking their stogies and drinking their cognac and paying me as their mistress, then maybe Jesus would. I mean, hell, let's give it a whirl. So I started going to church, and I'm, seeking all this. What's God got for me besides hatred? There's got to be something. So by the time I'm near graduating college, these 3 chicks are walking across the campus, and they say, hey, we want you to come to our women's ministry, and they touch my arm, and I'm like, you do that again and I'll break yours. You don't even know who you're talking to. I have so much inner anger from the lack of parenting that I should have had that I'm too angry to even think about your God in the fashion that you're delivering him to me. I'm like, I'll find him on my own path. Thanks a lot. And I walked away, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to make sure that nobody ever gets close to this. So when I came down here, I'm starting my own practice, and they're not letting me, because in Savannah, I had to be a resident for 7 years, and I'm thinking, who's going to do this? It looks pretty with the tree line, okay? It hides all the cray-cray. But when I tell you that in reality, they got nothing going on except for all kinds of abuse and a poverty mindset, I was there to bring the change, because I have that anointing. And so when I walk into the atmosphere, I intend to uplift it, because I already knew what crap was. And I was leaving the cesspool and that victimhood behind. So I'm rolling up in that camp, and I'm going into all these schools, and I was in something like 40 different schools in 1 year. And there's a second grader right there, cute little black thing. And I said, honey, I love that bow in your hair. She's like, fuck you, white bitch. I'm like, whoa, come on over here. And I bring her close to me, and I give her a smooch on the cheek, and I'm like, look, someone's been hating on you at home, because I know where that comes from. I'm like, can you stick your little rear end next to me, and you're connected to my hip all day, and I'm giving you a free pass. You're going to get loved on. And I made myself a name. That white bitch from the north, she actually gives a rip. And you're damn straight I did, because all of a sudden, I'm picking them up every Sunday night. And I'm feeding them, and they're hanging out with me, and none of them know Jesus. I don't even have to preach. All I have to do is love them, because I found them. And so as I'm taking them back to their homes, and they've got caution tape because the crack house was busted into, I'm like, nuh-uh, you're coming back to my place. So they sit with me, and before you know it, I'm starting all kinds of free classes in these schools, and I'm telling these teachers, yeah, just send your troubled kid to me. We got it. Because you know what? Every single person has worth and value. It doesn't matter if instinctually their mama or their daddy didn't want them, because there's a higher power who did and created them for a purpose to leave their imprint on this world and be a wonder.